What's up, guys? All days pass, and this is 6 months to Masters. Basically, if you guys don't know, what I did was I said if I made it to Masters, or if I did not make it to Masters, rather, in 6 months from now, today is May, 6th. Basically, I started this on May 5th, but we had some other stuff going on. So basically, it's about 6 months until the next Call of Duty game comes out. So this is a little bit of a spoiler here. I've already won a couple of games. I am playing as Terran this time. I've switched races. I was a Protoss, and I finished as a Silver last season. So now I'm playing as a Terran, and I am Bronze, as you can see, rank 59. And we're going to go and check out a couple quick replays. This is my first ranked match as a Terran, going up against a random in Covert Shadow. And Covert Shadow spawns in as a Protoss. I'm going to speed this up because, as you can see by the time, this one does not last long. So, I don't know... Let's slow it down here. I don't know a lot about playing Terran. I know, basically, you want to wall here at your ramp, at your main. On a bigger map, you don't necessarily need to do this. You can expand first and wall here, I suppose, at this area. But what I do is I build the supply depot. I send out my scout initially. I pull another SCV or spawn one out of the command center there to build my barracks. So then I send the SCV down. And when I send him down, if we pause it here and we'll switch the view to mine. And we will play. I see the gas going down. I see this drop, so I click on it. It's a pylon. I would loop back around to make sure that this is a gateway and not a forge. So I see the gas go down. He gets right on gas. He was like a level 80 Bronze League player. So I keep moving him around. I'm trying to macro back at home, keep my SCVs going, keep this guy moving around, but he's getting chased. I see the Cyber Core drop. And I guess I see the other gateway drop. At least I assume it's a gate. I didn't click on it. So I pull him back home. And we'll go back to everyone here. And let's go units, I suppose. So I get my first Marine out back here at home. And we'll speed this up again because I want to get another match in after this. So I know that he's dragging a probe with him back here. So what I do is I put my Marines out front to kill off the probe immediately as soon as he shows up. Get my guys back inside, at least that's the idea, pop that back up so I'm protected, and keep cranking out some Marines. I forget to reset the waypoint from out here to in here, but that's not a big deal. Now I get my gas, my first gas, I build up enough to build my factory. So I have one racks factory, get a second racks, get on both gases, and as you can see, I'm getting my orbital, got my orbital up. I don't know if I threw a scan down there or not with the orbital, but it doesn't look like it. So he shows up with some stalkers. So if you look back here, 1 gate, 2 gate, and he just chronoed stalkers out, I guess, because he didn't research warp gate at all. He's just chronoing out stalkers and sending them across the map, and I'm unprepared for it. These start going down. You can see that I lost my Marines. As soon as they spawn in, they're dead. He's got 4 stalkers here, and I don't really have any way of dealing with this. I'm trying to get a couple Marines out to micro around. I run this guy back here, but he's just going to die pretty quickly. I pull my SCVs, and unfortunately, they're not going to do well. He's macroing around. He's not doing anything back at his base. He's getting another stalker out, but it's not really a rush. I guess it's just me not really having a build order of any kind and not playing very well. So I do get a bit of a surround on that stalker. I GG and get out of there because there wasn't much I could do. I had no minerals. I had no workers. You know, there wasn't much I could do in this one. So let's quit out on that replay there. So that's my first loss of the season. Get it out of the way early, right? So now this one, Xeris Prime TE. I haven't vetoed any maps. I probably should veto some of these bigger ones. But let's speed it up a little bit through the early game here. I'm playing Good luck, have fun, my something. I didn't even see him do that. I was too busy trying to do this stuff, and that's my bad for not saying good luck, have fun. It's poor sportsmanship on my part. But so he sends a probe out cross map to look for me. I send an SCV out down to look for him. Basically, it looks like I'm going to follow his probe around here. So let's pause this real quick and get back to his base. His name is Artax, Protoss, top right corner. So I'm looking for him. So let's go back to it. I'm looking for him. I'm walling off back here at home. Start getting my first oh no, I'm going Reaper this time. As a scout more than a harass. And I left my SCV out there, but my Reaper spawns out to chase that probe off. So he sends his probe back home. I send my Reaper over. Let's slow this down a bit. So I send my Reaper around so he, doesn't see it immediately. But he does put a pylon up here for vision, and I guess he was kind of expecting this Reaper. So I send the Reaper in, and the mothership core is already out, and I run my Reaper away. So he's following some sort of a build where he gets his mothership core real quick. He walled off over here 2 zealots, cyber core, and his gateway, warping in a sentry, getting a couple more gates. I made him a little bit defensive here, I think. My Reaper's just chilling. I was going to put him back in, but he sent the mothership core out. And had I realized it earlier what was going on, I would have ran a little harder. So I dropped my factory. I start building the reactor, and I got 2 racks going. I'm trying to get out some Marines. Oh, forgot to put out my units. My units tab. 2 Marines. He's got 2 Stalkers, a sentry, mothership core. I get a 3rd racks as my factory is working. I finally get my star support down, and I start making a reactor on the factory. What I'm doing here is I'm going to get out a couple Widow Mines out of the factory, 2 Widow Mines, and I'm going to bunch them up with my Marines here. And then out of my mothership core, the plan is to get a couple medevacs. And I know being low bronze, I should just be concentrating on macro. I'm getting my SCVs out. I'm trying not to get supply blocked, which I'm cutting it close, and it does happen. So once these Widow Mines are done, I'm going to fly this over here. I'm going to land my starport on there, and I'm going to start cranking out a few medevacs. And I like this aspect of Terran in the fact that you can do this. So once I drop that, I'm going to throw a tech lab down on here so I can get siege tanks out, which I don't make as good of use of. I'll spoil it for you a little bit there, but we will speed it up through this bit of production right here. Go over here. He's getting his expand at 8 minutes. He's got his main working pretty good, both gases, 3 gates, not a whole lot else. So here comes my first attempt at a drop, and I haven't ever done this. So I hit the afterburners, and I didn't realize if you don't have them path, they just go ploop and stop wherever you send them to. So I run in my drop. He pulls his probes. I manage to burrow 2 Widow Mines back here. So Widow Mines, if you guys don't know, are cloaked units when they are burrowed, or whatever it is. So he brings his probes back just in time for 2 good Widow Mines. 2 good Widow Mine hits. So now he's up to 10 lost units. I have 5 from that drop. I probably lost a couple Marines. Back here at home, I have 2 medevacs. Here's another Widow Mine, some more Marines. My Widow Mines back at his base are doing damage. He's got 22 probes down now. These are about to fire off again. And I'm bringing in another drop to support them. There goes the hits. 29, 30 kills. This drop is just destroying probes. He gets a mothership core to do its photon overcharge. So he manages to kill. These are healing up these guys real well. And if you notice, these guys don't have any upgrades on them yet. And I will show you another mistake that I made. So I picked them up, but I accidentally sent the medevacs in the wrong direction. I should have sent them that way. I sent them this way. And they died. And these Widow Mines are still in the back. Let's check them out. 12 kills on this Widow Mine, 15 on this Widow Mine, and he's just going to continue to not get... He's got his forge. What he needs to do is drop a cannon back here somewhere. I mean, he doesn't have that many forces here now, or probes, and there's a cannon finally in the mineral line, but here comes 2 more Widow Mine hits. Boom, boom. Probes down. He's getting a couple cannon, which will detect that. I scan to make sure... Well, actually, I think this is the first scan that I've done over here to see if he's got an expansion. So once I see he's got his expansion, I decide I'm going to go drop the expansion. Fill up a couple medevacs. Don't want to fill up too many of them because I wasn't sure how successful these drops would be. So I send out the medevacs. Unfortunately, I had these guys like mapped to it, and they wanted to go. Luckily, this was up so they couldn't follow. And let's go back to units in production, or units. 26 SCVs to his 25. I'm not doing too well because I hadn't expanded yet. So I have 8 workers, or 16 workers, 2 per mineral patch, and I'm getting mined out. So I finally do manage to get my command center down. This should have been way earlier because I wasn't doing any kind of one base all in. I just wanted to play with drop play a little bit, which I shouldn't really be doing since my macro isn't that good. But, you know, it's Bronze League. You play with it. You see what you like doing. So, my medevacs, I sent them down and across the middle of the map, which probably wasn't a good idea because if he had anybody at the Zelnaga Towers, he would have seen that. But, anyway, here come the medevacs. I don't afterburner. I just do the drop straight. There's no Widow Mines in this one, just a Marauder. I start killing more probes. He pulls in his forces. I lift, and unfortunately I abandon a few Marines. And he's got the Photon Overcharge again, so he cleans that up. But this constant, even in Bronze League, this kind of harassment where he's losing so many workers, so much mining time, he can't build additional stuff. Like, he's getting Storm now before he gets any kind of upgrades for his army. His army is still 0-0. Oh no, he does have a 1. He has +1 on his ground units here. He's got a few sentries. His army isn't very strong. I got 35 Marines, 2 Marauders, a siege tank, 4 medevacs, and 1 Widow Mine to his 6 stalkers, or 6 zealots, 3 stalkers, 4 sentries, and a mothership core. So this bit of harass that I'm doing seems to be working. I pull these guys back in, drop the expansion again, try to get a few more probe kills, and then after this one, I'm going to pick up, get these guys out of here, and bring them back home and start prepping. I get my expansion down finally, and start getting out some workers. So if we look at resources, I'm mining about equal to what he is, but he's way ahead in supply because of these drops that I've been doing. Now, granted, a lot of his supply is in the units. He has, 32 probes. I don't know how many. I think stalkers take 2 or something. So I have a lot lower tech army, excuse me, than he does. And APM, my average 146 currently. In this game, I think it's 146. Not doing real great with the APM. In production, I'm getting double upgrades for my army. Let's go back to units. My army is chilling out here. You can see my guys are already 1-1. His army is still 1-0. And I throw scans around to try and get an idea what his army is. I look to see if he has a third. He has not taken his third as yet. He's starting to get Archons, but he's still hurting, from those drops. Now, considering that I'm up to 84 or 110, I'm sorry, I'm ahead in supply. I don't know. I'm so used to being a Protoss, I was looking at the other one. I'm ahead in supply. I probably should drop this base again or do some sort of a run by here, but basically I'm just macroing up at this point. He hasn't scouted me at all except for that initial probe that didn't really get in. I haven't seen any Phoenix flyby. I haven't seen anything, any hallucinated units at all. I build my refineries down here and don't bother to mine them, which isn't a big deal. He does finally get a Phoenix over here, and it just runs into my army. I don't think he could even see that I took an expansion. I mean, he probably has to expect it at this point, 20 minutes into the game, that I have an expansion. But, you know, he doesn't know if I took an expansion here, if I'm running 3 base. He doesn't even really know my army size that much. All he really saw was this. He may have saw the Thor, but Bronze League, chances are he did not. I am finally getting into the gas down here, and I'm building a 3rd command center to expand over here as I continue to just macro up, build units, get some Thors out at this point of the game. I am researching upgrades. I eventually I did Vehicle 1. I don't know if I ever bothered to do Vehicle 2. Ground vehicles. I don't know, is the Thor considered a ground vehicle? Armored Mechanical Massive. So that's probably a different upgrade that I don't even know about yet. Still flying out some medevacs, you know, for heals. And then I decide what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my army here, just outside of his expansion. He rallies his forward a little bit, and unfortunately my medevacs fly right into this Oracle, which turns around quickly because he thinks that he's getting, I guess, doom dropped. But rather than do that, I just pull up here, I drop 1 medevac worth of units, which is only one has any units in it, and I focus down the Oracle before it can really do any damage. And then I burrow the Widow Mine here, I believe, somewhere. I think I do it over here-ish, somewhere in this area, just to give me an early idea if his army starts moving down as I continue to try and get my army maxed out, or at least closer to maxed out. And then one of the problems that I had is I was getting ready to move in, and that's not it. There it is. I forgot to research stim. So at 23 minutes into the game, I finally get stim, and I leave this little siege tank behind. I know the composition isn't very good as to what I'm doing here. I probably should have some siege tanks mixed in along with the Thors. I should have more Marauders than, how many do I have? 5. 73 Marines, 5 Marauders. They are 3-2, and I believe 3-3 is finishing up now. I went double engineering bay, but the amount of minerals I had at the time wasn't quite right. So I do end up only going vehicles 1, but I do get 3-3 out of these. And right now my production is not doing anything because my supply blocked? No, I'm not supply blocked. I think I just wanted to build some more supply. I got guys running across. And I finally get my 3rd down, transfer some probes over, land a mule so I can immediately start getting some minerals out of this base so I can hopefully quickly remax my army as best I can off of 5 racks, 1 starport, 1 factory. I probably should have built another starport and another factory just to double up production, as I have the economy to support it now, being on 3 base, especially with my main being mined out and my saturation being fairly decent here, and I'm getting other units, other SCVs here. So I'm running more guys over. I'm staging up. I'm getting ready to move in. And one of the issues that I'm having now, and it's probably because I put everything here, and maybe you guys can help me out and suggest a little bit of something, but what do I do with these? Because every time I go to attack, they fly in first. But he starts moving out. I know he sees the army, so it's time to attack and move in. So here comes the attack. He starts storming, which kills a lot of my units. But I stim. I got plenty of medevacs. I try to keep moving forward out of the storms, and I kill his army pretty quickly. And as you can see, I move in, I start taking out his expansion. He doesn't have any production. He knows it's over, and he's just going to leave the game here. Probably because I didn't say good luck. I don't know if he says GG. Does he GG? No. He just takes off, so that's pretty good. My first win. as a Terran, and we'll go out real quick. I know this is a really long video, but I haven't done one in a while, and the next ones won't have 2 games in them. But we'll go and go back out here and go to my profile, match history, and check this one out. Artax here. If we go and view his profile, we will see that he right now is mid-bronze. I think when I played him, he was higher than that, but that's, that's fine. I'm not, any better or claiming to be any better than anybody. And he's played some 2v2, and he's in bronze in that as well, so. Alright, guys, well, that is the beginning of 6 months to Masters, and hopefully you will see me improve, you will see me learn, and you will see me advance in this game that I love so much called StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. And if you guys liked, follow, subscribe, check me out on Twitch. We're live streaming some StarCraft 2 Monday nights, I forget what it's called, Triple Terran Terrors, me, Mezzo and Volusian, playing some Wings of Liberty for now until those guys get the expansion. Then we'll start playing Heart of the Swarm, and you'll see me doing lots of ladder as I finish up school and start getting into some other stuff. So I'm going to end that video there, being that it's so long, and I hope you guys stuck with me and watched all of this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys later.